Now the next ones just add a little bit more to what we just got done doing. Instead of always wanting an inconsistent one, they might ask you if it's consistent dependent, consistent independent, or inconsistent. So we already did inconsistent. If it's inconsistent, the slope is the same. I'm thinking ahead and trying to write without finishing my writing. The slope is the same. The y-intercepts are different. So these ones we're usually going to have two missing variables, and so we're going to have to do both the slope and the y-intercept. If it is consistent, dependent. Consistent dependent, those are the ones where it was one line right on top the other line. Both the slope and the y-intercept are the same because it's the same line. And if we have the last kind, consistent independent, those are the ones where the two lines intersected in a point. Usually both the slope and the y-intercept are different. So, find two numbers a and b such that the following system of linear equations is consistent dependent. If it's consistent dependent, I want my slopes to be equal, I want my y-intercepts to be equal. So basically I'm going to start the same way, set them equal to y. So on the top one, negative 6y is going to equal 2x plus b, dividing by my negative 6. Y is going to equal negative 1/3 x minus b over 6. On my second equation, negative 2y is going to equal, that's going to be a negative ax minus 2. If I divide by negative 2, y is going to equal a positive a over 2x, and a negative over a negative is going to make that a positive 1. So what we're going to do is basically set the slopes equal, solve it, set the y-intercepts equal, and solve it. So negative 1/3 has to equal a over 2. So cross multiplying there. 3a would equal negative 2, so a is going to equal negative 2/3. I need more writing space. And then for the second part, I'm going to solve for b, so then I'm going to set my y-intercepts equal. So negative b over 6 has to equal 1. Cross multiplying there, negative b would equal 6, so b is going to equal negative 6. So a equals negative 2/3, b equals negative 6, if they're going to be consistent dependent. So number 5, same kind of thing. I'm going to set them equal to y. So 3y is going to equal, it's going to be a positive 4x plus 5. I'm going to divide by my 3. So y equals 4/3 x plus 5/3. On my second equation, 6y is going to equal, that's going to be a negative ax plus b. I'm going to divide by 6. So y is going to equal negative a over 6x plus b over 6. Now this one wants us to do an inconsistent system of equations. So for an inconsistent one, I want my slopes to be the same. My y-intercept is going to be different. So with my slope, the 4/3 is going to equal negative a over 6. So negative 3a would equal 24, and when I divide, a is going to equal negative 8. For my y-intercept, I want 5/3 not to be equal to b over 6. And so 3b we don't want to be equal to 30, so b cannot be equal to 10. However, they're not going to let you enter it in like that. What they're going to do is just have you put an answer in for b, and as long as you put an answer in that is not 10, it is correct. So you could just randomly pick out some really strange number like negative 3.445 and not solve it. We just know that b can't be 10. I can pick any other number. Hey, maybe I'm just going to pick 3, and then that's going to be okay. So you can put any number in other than what it actually solves for. So if you were doing consistent independent and they're both different, if you're really lazy, you could just pick 2 really weird numbers. And it should work. Let's see what number 6 says. Consistent independent. There it is. There's a consistent independent one. If I actually went through and solved this. So, solving my top equation for y, what am I going to do on that one?
2y equals negative ax plus b.
Keep going. Divide by 2, so y is going to equal
Negative a over 2x plus b over 2.
my second equation. Solving that one for y. Hey, that one's an easy one to solve for y.
Y equals negative 5x plus 6.
So, for my slopes, since I'm doing consistent independent, I don't want my slopes to be equal, and I don't want my y-intercepts to be equal. So negative a over 2 should not equal negative 5. B over 2 should not equal 6 then. So negative a can't equal negative 10, so a can't equal 10. What do we want a to be equal to then? 3. Anything that's not 10, right? B can't equal 12. So what do we want B to be equal to? 3. Anything that's not 12. There's my answer set. So you hope they ask you that one. And even if you did the problem wrong, there's a pretty good chance you still might get the right answer. So, consistent, dependent, they're both the same. Consistent, independent, they're both different. And inconsistent, the slope is the same, but the y-intercept is different.